Hiya guys and welcome to Train Sim TV. My name's Tom and today we're going to be having a look at the all new Class 89 locomotive for Train Simulator 2020. This has literally just been released as of today, which is 19th of March 2020. The pack consists of the locomotive itself. It also consists of 3 scenarios. We're going to be running part 1 of the 3 on a rail tour. And we're just going to have a look at what the loco sounds like, visuals and all that sort of stuff, just to give you a feel for what you get on this pack. The pack itself is £11.99 on the Steam store, and the key features are that there is a 3-part scenario on the East Coast Mainline London to Peterborough route. So this is an actual requirement on top if you want to run the scenario. You don't have to, it's not a requirement for the loco, but it is for the scenarios to run. Other features are, so you get the prototype BR Class 89 in Intercity Executive livery. Got that out. You get the Mark 1 brake coach in Intercity Exec livery. Mark 3 coaches also in the same livery, so Intercity Executive. You get a Dead in Tow BR Class 47 in maroon livery. You get the trio scenarios, which I mentioned before. It is also quick drive compatible as well. So those are your requirements. We'll go over some other bits on the way, but so let's get ourselves started. And you did see as well at the beginning of the video the fancy look around the loco at first, but we'll have another look. So good morning. It is the day of the Intercity Rail Tour here on the East Coast Mainline. You will be running the recently restored Class 89 on a rail tour to the north. Part of the plan of the event is that hopefully we will be meeting up with another rail tour, providing everything all goes to plan. First, let's get to King's Cross, where your coaches are waiting. They were moved overnight. All coaches have been repainted into the Special Heritage Intercity livery. Okie dokie. So this was shown on the DTG stream last week during their March Madness event. I think it was the Friday... No, actually I can't remember what day it was. It was about... I think it might have been... it could have been Saturday actually, or Saturday or Sunday, I can't quite remember. But it was shown there. So they did the whole run from Edinburgh down to London over 4 different routes. So we started off on JT, Scottish East Coast Mainline, or East Coast Mainline, whichever one it was, Newcastle to Edinburgh, and then they went over DPS's North East England older version, which is on Steam. Then they went on to Creative Rail's East Coast Mainline from York to Peterborough, and then onto this route down to King's Cross. So I didn't catch the whole stream. I watched the first hour or so just whilst I was waiting to do my own stream, but I had a look at it and it looked really good. There's a few niggles and bits and pieces which we'll go over. But let's get ourselves set up and going. So we have the master key. So master key is on M. So just listen to the sound. One of them things is with this is you can't get real life sounds on everything. Of course, this is not a running locomotive. It's stored at Barrow Hill. I think getting restored or something. I think there's plans for it down in the future possibly. But I do believe that some of the stuff can actually have been recorded. I do believe that the motor blowers, I think that's what they're called, they could have been actually recorded on site at Barrow Hill because they still work. I'm not sure how they do that, whether they plug some electrical equipment into it to get it running to do that, but it could have been done. So it's a shame that never got took on, because these do sound like it's a bit of a cross of an 86, 91 sort of thing. I think I'd say more of 86 on that at the minute. Right, so moving on. I think we've got our lights set up. Yeah, we've got markers and headlights on there. Very faint, but they are on, as you can see. I like the detail on the model. Not sure about the tail lamps actually. No, I'm assuming they're on the front. Yeah, they're very hard to see these, so let's just take them off. I'll leave them as they are because... Hang on. No idea what's going on there. No, I'll leave them off because they're not doing what I want them to do. So we've got DRA. That's off. Now, I have no idea about this loco. really, apart from odd videos that I've seen on YouTube. So I don't really know how it's meant to operate, perform. I do know it has a lot of horsepower, I think. It was like 8,500 horsepower or something like that. It was one of only one locomotive, as it was a prototype. So let's go. Let's move in there. So that horn is definitely 91-esque. I'm going to stop at Bounds Green siding 16. Make sure we're going to there. So, yep, we are going to the right place. We're on a career scenario also, so we'll try not to speed. Track joint sounds, they could be better. They're very Cujo-esque, but they are Cujo, from what I can hear. The old horrible clunking sounds used to get on the coaches and the wagons. So I feel like there's been a trick miss for there. I'm sure they had better recordings on that. It also has a speed selector. Which you can operate by dragging across. Or I think it's Y and C. Losing speed there. But yeah, you can do speed selects in there. There's a bit of an odd looping going on as well with the motor sounds. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's quite a quick loop, that as well. It's not a prolonged one. Right. Oh, we're rolling back there. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. I've got emails going off here as well. I do apologise. That speed selects are going up in like 15 miles per hour. I'm not sure if that's right. Change cab ends and prepare to leave the depot at 8:17. So we are a little bit late on this. I'm just going to take the key out. Can't take the master key out by the looks of it, so we'll just hope for the best here. Marker lights. The lights are off, and we also want the headlights to go off. Let's just change ends. Bit of a bug possibly with master key there, I'm not too sure. So, instrument lights on. So we want headlamps and markers on. No, wrong one. We want the marker lights, which are them, and the headlamps there, sorry. Does a ETS. You get a guard intercom. You don't get any of that. Pantograph, of course. It goes up in 5 mile an hour increments if you drag it across, but if you do it on the Y and C, it seems to go really, really fast. Alright, I think we're good to go. Let's hope for the best here. Just close my emails down because they keep going off. Right, so let's get ourselves moving. Put that down to 10. Hopefully it doesn't go over 10. And hopefully we're going the right way. It looks like we are. Let's see if it stops us from going over 10 on the speed selector. And it looks like it's it's holding us. It's not giving any more over 10. That's good. It's holding us virtually perfect there. So we're in the modern day workings. Of course, you can see the IET flying past there. There's 365s I've seen flying around already. So this is obviously a what if you will, scenario if it did actually come back to the main line. I'm not sure if it's been eyeballed up with GBRF possibly for future work, if that's the case, but not too sure. So the BR Class 89 was a prototypical electric locomotive that was set to transform the East Coast Mainline, and while reality went in a different direction, one cannot deny the unique and powerful design that was the Badger. And this one-of-a-kind loco is now available for you to drive in Train Simulator. With the East Coast Mainline amidst major transformation in the form of electrification, British Rail were keen to source a brand new fleet of electric locomotives that would haul services on the wires. The initial specification was drawn up by Brush at Loughborough and built by Crew Works in 1986. Unfortunately, the fate of the type was essentially sealed in the same year when BR changed their specification requirements after Brush had committed to building a locomotive. Right, so let's just put some more onto this. Oh god, we don't want 150, do we? 20, there we go. The new loco rolled off the production line and was dubbed the BR Class 89, boasting of 6 traction motors which would output the power of 125 miles per hour in service. Passenger service on the East Coast Mainline was rather brief, though. It was used on the London to Leeds services for about 3 years before a serious failure occurred and the locomotive fell by the wayside. It was rescued by some Brush employees and appeared at some events across the country, but the future looked very bleak. But then came privatisation. BR and its sectors had been replaced by rail franchises, and the newly formed GNER franchise purchased the sole Class 89 for its own use following a motive power shortage. It entered service again about 1997, but history rhymed, and in 2001 a major failure put the loco out of use. And this time it was for good. The 89 was then sold into preservation once again, where it remains to this day with a long-term goal of making it operational for rail tour use. So that is obviously it's down at Barrow Hill near Chesterfield. While its service life was very brief and it never got the chance to become a mainline workhorse it was meant to be, the BR Class 89 found a place in many enthusiasts' hearts. Its unique design earned its name rightfully the Badger, and it offered occasional breaks from the norm for the spotters. Fans of the Badgers, you can now rejoice as this unsung stallion can now be experienced in Train Simulator. So that is the write-up that has been given on the Steam Store website. And if you do want to read that, of course, you can read up on that properly on the Steam Store yourself, along with all the key features. So we are meant to be doing 35 here, so let's pop some power onto this. Oh, my drive quality just dipped right down there. See, I can't... It's an interesting one, so I don't know what it's meant to sound like, but I can't really hear any noise like motion or anything like that, any motors powering up as you power up or anything like that. It's weird. All you can hear is them blowers. And it's a really annoying looping, to be honest. Which is a shame. It doesn't sound like it's got the sense of movement. You can hear the flange squeal very faintly over the top of the motors. Also the cab dash, if you will. The texture on there, I don't think they look right to me. To be honest, I think they're meant to be more like a plastic marble effect, but they look quite mouldy in here. It looks strange, and not very high res textures, to be fair, I would say, on there either. Put the speed select down to 25. Got some spotters on the bridge. I think there'd be more spotters out than that in reality for something like this. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. The track joint sounds are shocking. They're something from many moons ago. Them sounds should not be allowed to come out in TS these days. The detailing's lovely on the model itself. I mean, I've never seen the Loco, but I've seen pictures, and it definitely does look like a Badger to me. The detailing around the bogie is lovely. All the pipe work and stuff like that as well. It definitely has that unique look to it. I'm just going to pause this. The resolution could be better. Looks like there's even possibly a missing texture in there. Yeah, but the data panel as well, quite low res, it's quite pixely. Yeah, I do think it'd be quite nice if something was to be done with this. Maybe an updated one. Update the textures as such. I don't know, it looks a little bit maybe washed out on the colours. I don't know. I don't know. Has a little bit of a worn look to it, maybe. I don't know. As well, I'm sure it should have a nameplate. I think was it Advocate. I'm not sure if it had the name in this livery or not, but I know it did have a nameplate at one point in its life. Whether it's had it the whole of its life or not, someone will probably be able to tell me that in the comments. The detailing on the pantograph as well is quite nice. I like these. The transformers look quite nice. Interesting model. It's an interesting, well, it's quite an interesting choice of release, really, from DTG. To be honest, it would have been nice to see GNR livery though with it. It would have been nice to see all the liveries really, because in theory, I wouldn't have thought there'd been anything licensing wise to stop them from doing it. So, with it not being obviously owned by GNR or anything like that, these companies don't exist anymore. Surely the liveries could have probably been done without any real issue. But never mind, I'm sure we'll get stuff down the line from other developers. But yeah, overall, the modelling is lovely. It does have that look to it to me. I think as well the headlamps could have been better. They're very, very faint. It doesn't really look like the lights are on. I have no idea I get them tail lamps, so I don't know if they're on or off, to be honest. I think we need to stop here. So a little bit too early here, really. Just put a little bit more power back into it. I'm not sure if I'm doing the brake system right or not. Can't do anything to do with the boost either. Traction boost. Give the spotter some tones. Especially if this does come back mainline one day, it would be lovely to see AP or other developers as such that do these sort of things bring a sound pack for the Loco. I think it does need an enhancement pack when that time does come. Well, the brakes are working, right? God knows, it felt like they weren't working before. There we go. Get your buzzer code panel in there as well. That's quite cool to see. Can't look all the way around the cab. It's restricted. There's no blind or anything either. I'm not too sure if there would have been I would have thought there would have been a blind near, but there's no blind as such that you can actually use. Drivers, please remember, if you if your train is detained on a running line, if you need to report any matter concerning safety, it must always be advise signal box operator first and control afterwards if necessary. Where detention of train or safety is concerned, it's as simple as A, B, C. Don't forget, don't get caught out. That's quite cool. 20 seconds. I'm going to tell a little white lie because this is actually a retake at this part because when we got down to the tunnel before, the red signal wasn't playing ball, so we've gone for a retake from here. Also, there's no blind. I'm not sure if I would have thought there should have been a blind here, but there isn't one. Right, so it's 27 past. I'm going to run with the hood off as well, only because my points are a lot higher than what they were on first take, because we are more on time this time. So, basically we are just going to run into King's Cross now. Hopefully we've covered most of the things for this first look. A little show off at least of what you can get with the pack. Overall, obviously the sounds aren't fantastic, but that is down to the fact that the real life one isn't working at the minute. But some of the stuff could have been recorded. Of course, if AP comes along one day when this is actually on the main line for an EP, that would be really, really good. I think that would do this pack justice. So maybe one day. This will get an outing on the stream as well, but it ain't going to get a lot of use, I don't think, at the minute. It's a pack really mainly for the die-hard 89 fans at the end of the day. I mean, this is something that I wasn't... I'm not very familiar with, of course. So for me, I'm not going to be driving the part 2 or 3 of this scenario. I don't think I could do it with the sounds, especially that annoying looping sound, if you will. If any older scenarios do crop up with like in the late 80s, 90s, and stuff like that, GNER would be nice if we get that. I'm sure we'll get something down the line, and developers will be doing their skins as such, because there's a few different liveries about it's held. So that'd be good. But it's a pack I would recommend only to the 89 fan, really. It's not got a lot of scope in use, other than the East Coast Mainline, of course. It did do a few, obviously, test training runs on the West Coast Mainline, so there is potential on that. That probably would be more the interesting side for me, with all the various coaches that I've seen pictures of it hauling. That would be more interesting, I think, rather than just a quick run up and down the East Coast Mainline, because I despise the East Coast Mainline. This part especially, I just find it very boring. My favourite part, I always mention it, is the bit between Doncaster and York, in the Yorkshire section. Otherwise, I don't really bother. Just chasing a few reds at the minute as we're drawing. Nope. Just cut out. Probably going a bit too fast up to that red signal, actually. My bad. Right. I like how it just cuts the whole sound out, though. So that's nice to see. Try again. I think we're moving. Yeah, we are. So yeah, it just literally cuts out. There's nothing at all. We have a yellow signal now. Again, though, modelling wise, I am very happy with the model itself. There's no driver on that end, of course, because obviously we changed ends. I think it'd be nice if, like, where DTG did stuff is, like, if they followed suit, like, with AP, where AP, I think you can have the driver whatever end you are at on their script. But on the DTG stuff, it just seems to be at one end, and then it looks stupid when you've had to change ends. I'm just gonna keep an eye on these signals. Otherwise it'll just lock the brakes on again. This is the thing with some of these routes, obviously they have speed set up to the signal, so if you're going too fast and you go over at a certain speed, it'll just lock the brakes on. This route does catch me out quite a lot, to be quite honest. I've done it with 313 scenarios before and it has locked brakes on. It's annoying. We do have a yellow. And we will get held at the end of the tunnel, so this is where hopefully this time the scenario will work. We'll see what happens. So again, let's just have a final listen. Got flange sounds this time. No, didn't hear it. I'm gonna tell no lies here, but it does actually have Kuju flange sounds. It picked them up on my previous video. For some reason it didn't there. But it has Kuju flange and it has Kuju track drums. It might pick up on the next bit. As we go around this next curve, so we'll see if we can hear it, but we'll see. We have a yellow here at the moment. You can't actually hear any like brake application or brake release sounds on the externals. In fact, you can see I'm doing step 3, taking the brakes off. You cannot hear them brakes being taken off. I don't think we'll hear the flange sounds, unfortunately, but yeah, Kuju are the sounds it does have. If you remember the old screechy sound, that's what it does. Them track joints are the 800 you can hear there. Not the 89. Signal K14 has been causing issues today. Please request permission to pass it. Danger. Is this one? Nope. It's the next one, isn't it? So we're not going to tab this one. We're waiting for that. There we go. K14 should be the signal at the end of the tunnel. This is the signal I had issues with before on the last take when I tried going through it, obviously because it's career scenario, it just give me a game over. If it does it again, we might end up having to end the video in here, but we'll see if it gets us through in a moment. It's the 9s at the minute. I think it's because there is a train in the other platform occupying it already. I think that could be the reason. Oh no, it was approved. Right. If anything happens here onwards, you saw it said approved on that screen. Let's get the speed selected down to 15. Should let it go through without giving us a game over. Moment of truth. Hey. Right, so there's lots of spotters at the platform. It's coming from Tones. The 91 horn. So we need to. I think we could have our screenshot there as well. Many of same person. Bit of a weird cutting sound on the horn there as well. If the video picks it up. Not sure if the pantograph does a sparking effect either. Right, so from a couple up. This is the Mark 1s that come in it as well. The Mark 3, of course. We have half an hour until our book departure time. Go and have a rest, grab a cuppa, we'll see you back here. So that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. The 89 link will be in the description below. Don't forget you can join us on Twitch at twitch.tv/trainsimtv_Tom or trainsimtv_Mark. Do drop us a like, share, subscribe or a comment if you have any feedback. And again, thank you ever so much for joining us on this video, and we will catch you on the next one very soon. Take care and goodbye for now, guys.